Let's welcome Shira Chung to the stage.
Imagine starting off your day like this, riding a packed train into Grand Central Terminal, navigating through the crowded New York streets to make your way to an early coffee meeting, before finally making your way into the office. After a never-ending sea of meetings, conference calls, and emails, you finally sit down to catch a break, and before you know it, your day will have looked like this. Crazy, right? Hi, I'm Shira, and this is Stillhouse Tea. It's an intimate tea service for busy people to take a break from their days over small sips of tea. And in the process, we'll hopefully turn these pain points into these positives, because frequent breaks throughout the day rejuvenate the mind and body and actually lead to productivity and creativity. Tea is the perfect vehicle for rest and relaxation. It's soothing in nature and has long been considered healthful due to its restorative properties. My interest in tea starts from childhood. As a Chinese American, I was basically raised on this beverage. Now as an adult, I've begun to re-examine these rituals and relics of my upbringing, and I've grown an affinity for traditional tea making as an opportunity to sit down and unwind. That became the inspiration for Stillhouse Tea. To start, our customers will be busy teams at big companies and startups. We will provide these teams with a 20-minute meditation-minded tea experience. Each session will be for groups of 5 at a time, intentionally small and intimate. Here's how it works. Our tea brewer brings all the equipment and sets up the service prior to the session start time. We do a 20-minute service. Studies show that longer breaks, particularly away from screens and devices, allow the brain to disengage and mentally replenish. Once the timer begins, the brewer leads with a moment of silent meditation, setting the pace for the rest of the experience. The service is fully guided by the tea brewer, but printed information boards detailing the tea of the day and other fun, distractible tidbits are at the table for customers who opt for a more reflective, introspective journey. Customers spend their time in restfulness. The cups are purposefully small, encouraging one to sip slowly, and the experience becomes a practice of intention, contemplation, and digital detoxification. Stillhouse offers 4 different kinds of experiences, each individually programmed with complementary teas to fit the different needs of the day, and each one providing relaxation in its own way. This is an example of a socialized experience at fashion label Rag & Bone. Team members take a break from their workdays to sit down together, chat, and decompress over tea. And for 20 minutes, without the constant buzzing of cell phones or emails, the employees are able to disconnect and head back to work feeling re-energized to tackle the rest of their workdays. And the caffeine also helps with that. Here's how someone books the 20-minute sip session through visiting our website. Customers decide between the 4 different themes when booking the experience, and pricing is set per session, but teams opting for a multi-course offering will receive a slight discount, and this is actually the preferred option. For the customers, they'll receive more frequent and differentiated relaxation sessions, and for us, stacking multiple sessions at the same company lowers our costs. Now's a great time to embark on this venture because Stillhouse Tea falls under the tea category, but also under corporate wellness and alternative healthcare, which encompasses yoga and massage therapy. At this stage, it's a benefit as both industries have been experiencing steady growth and are projected to continue trending upwards. So, there are 1.5 million office employees in New York City, and we can estimate based on industry statistics that about 1.2 million of them are tea drinkers and 1 million of them have participated in some form of alternative healthcare. When set against the market figures mentioned earlier, as Stillhouse Tea scales, that creates a potentially great future for us. There's no direct competition in our pilot phase. We'll indirectly compete against New York-based retailers, but very few of these serve the B2B market, and those that do are typically wholesalers that don't offer a tea serving experience. Neither provide the fully programmed meditative aspects that we do. We're actually closer to competing with the more traditional corporate wellness offerings, such as yoga and massage, in our pilot phase. But while they may offer similar outcomes such as calmness, it's a very different experience to partake in a physical activity for relaxation as opposed to sipping a warm cup of tea. We launch our pilot with the Stillhouse sip services through B2B channels. Throughout every phase of our business, the 20-minute sip services will remain our core product. In this phase, with 6-month projections, we'll be seeing returns of $45,000. In phase 1, we'll rent a physical space and begin branching into the B2C market. We'll also begin sourcing the tea that we're serving, which will come from my family's tea farms in China. Projected income for a 2-month pop-up is $31,000. And finally, in phase 2, we'll build our brick and mortar location after having developed a sustained customer base from the previous phases. The physical space will serve as an anchor to increase brand presence and continue revenue generation through tea sales and merchandise, such as these sip-at-home kits. It will also become the base for our tea brewer training program, where we'll educate and equip individuals to become brew masters, providing the necessary curriculum for them to lead 20-minute sip services in their cities. For a year of operations, we are anticipating $152,000 in returns. The immediate next steps for me will be a couple of services at Noya House, a co-working space here in New York City. And companies like these are the ones I'm targeting. Ones large enough for me to conduct services for multiple teams that deeply value employee health and wellness and have workers who could really benefit from our services. So to make this all happen, I'm asking for $48,000 for my startup costs for the 6-month pilot phase, which will cover the cost of the initial equipment and allow me to hire a full-time tea brewer and a part-time business development coordinator. So let's find some calmness together over small sips. Thank you.